ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So next, what are the some assumptions of kinetic theory of gas molecules? Some assumptions of kinetic theory. So generally, kinetic theory, according to this kinetic theory, we have to make some assumptions. Of course, these assumptions are may be true or may not be true. Not always true, but according to this, to do the some mathematical calculations, we have to make these assumptions. So that's why. So the what are the assumptions is, first one is, what are the assumptions of kinetic theory of gas, postulates of kinetic theory of gas. First one is, each and every gas made up of small particles called molecules. Each and every gas is made up of with small particles, those are called particles. So that means for a given gas, all are identical. From gas to gas, these can change. This is the first assumption. Each and every gas made up of with small particles, those are called molecules. For a given gas, all are identical. For a given gas, all the molecules are identical. And for the gas, from one gas to another gas, these molecules may be changes. So what is this my small molecule? So this molecule is nothing but considered as a point object or small particle. These molecules are nothing but small particle. Why we are mentioning that small particle? In the sense, the size of the particle is negligible, and this size is negligible, so that's why due to this size, the rotatory motion of that molecule and oscillatory motion of that molecule is negligible. Rotatory motion of the molecule and oscillatory motion of the molecule is negligible. Just we have to consider only translatory motion. Translatory motion means linear motion. That means maybe the particle move along x axis or y axis or z axis, x, y or z, any one it is possible. But rotatory motion of the particle is not possible. Single particle, for single particle rotatory motion is not considerable. Of course it is possible, but not considerable. Oscillatory motion is not considerable, only linear motion is considerable. So that is the first assumption. Second assumption is, so the molecules are small in size, the molecules are small, rigid and elastic in nature. Molecules are small, rigid and elastic. Small means size is very less, and rigid in the sense it is not possible to change the shape of the molecule. It is not possible to change the shape of the molecule. That is called rigid. Rigid body in the sense, generally rigid body in the sense, whatever is the force applied on the body, the position of the body or the shape of the body does not changes. That is called the rigid body. Here also the molecules are rigid in the sense, the meaning is, what is it? It is not possible to change the shape or size of the molecule, and are elastic in nature. Elastic in nature means free to move, not rotate, that's free to move. So that is third postulate is the size of the molecule the size of the molecule is negligible when compared to interatomic distance. Interatomic distance is nearly 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. The size of the molecule is negligible when compared to the interatomic. That means if we consider the distance between the molecules, when compared to the distance, so the size is negligible. So that means the size is less than 10 to the power of minus 9. And next, third, the volume of the molecule also negligible. Volume of the molecule also negligible when compared to volume occupied by this. When compared to volume occupied by gas. The volume of the molecule also negligible when compared to the volume occupied by the gas. Next, the gas molecules moves in different directions with different speeds. Next point. So these gas molecules move in randomly in different directions with the different speeds, but the number of molecules per unit volume remains constant. Number of molecules per unit volume remains constant. Number of molecules per unit volume remains constant. Next one is, there exists collision between the gas molecules. There exists collision between gas molecules due to their random motions. There exists collision between the gas molecules due to the random motion, and this collision is elastic in nature. So the collision is called elastic collision. There exists collision between the gas molecules due to their random motion, and this collision is called elastic collision. Elastic collision means, of course, the two molecules are collide, then they move in the same direction or opposite direction with the different velocities, but they are not stick together. There is no loss of energy. What is meant by the elastic collision means there is no loss of energy takes place during the collision between the molecules. There is no loss of energy. In the collision chapter we can discuss about this clearly, but remember that here. So this collision is elastic in nature. So next, there is no attractive or repulsive forces between gas molecules. There is no attractive or repulsive forces between gas molecules. There is no force of attraction and there is no force of repulsion. Next, gravitational force is also negligible. Gravitational force between gas molecules also not considerable. Gravitational force between gas molecules also not considerable. So these are the assumptions, assumptions of the kinetic theory of gas molecules, these 9 points. So Each and every gas made up of with small particles, those particles are called, what is it? Those particles are called molecules. So what is the size of the molecules is very small, and it is it is rigid and it is elastic in nature. Elastic in nature. So next, the size of the molecules is negligible, and volume of the gas molecules also negligible, and the gas molecules moves in different directions with different speeds. Due to these different motions, there may be a collision between the gas molecules, and this collision is elastic in nature, and the number of molecules per unit volume remains constant, and there is no attractive or repulsive forces between the gas molecules, and the gravitational force is also not considerable. There is no attractive or repulsive force between the gas molecules. So these are the assumptions of the kinetic theory of gases, some assumptions. Of course, these assumptions are maybe true or maybe false, but to do the mathematical calculations, these assumptions must. So next, what is the pressure of the ideal gas? What is the pressure of the ideal gas? How can you define the pressure? So pressure means how the pressure generated here. How the pressure generated. See here. So let us say it is the container. So let us say it is three-dimensional container. Let us say cube like this. So let us say this cube consists of number of gas molecules. Certain amount of gas is filled in the cube. So it consists of certain amount, huge amount of gas molecules like this. What happens if these gas molecules, already we discussed, just now we discussed some, what is the assumption? The gas molecules moves randomly in different directions with the different speeds. Gas molecules moves randomly in different directions with the different speeds. So that is the one of the postulates of kinetic theory of gases. In that situation, for example, these gas molecules moves randomly in different directions. That means these molecules collides with the walls of the container due to that random motion. Due to that random motion of the molecules, these gas molecules collides with the walls of the container. Gas molecule collides with walls of the container. Due to that collision, due to this collision, this means, for example, gas molecule collides with the walls of the container. That means these gas molecules exert certain force on the container. During that collision, these gas molecules apply certain amount of force on the container. That is the action. What is Newton's third law? Everybody know about that. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. In the same way, container also applies the same amount of force on the gas molecule in opposite direction. That reaction force exerted by the container on the gas molecule per unit area is called pressure. For example, if you hit the wall, if you people, for example, hit the wall, what happens? We are applying force on the wall. What is the reaction? Wall also applies the same force on our hand. That's why our hand gets pained. Definitely. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Action, reaction are the instantaneous process. If you apply the force, that means we are applying the force on the wall. So that is the action. So that means due to that action, our hand, we feel that certain amount of pain. Why that pain? We are applying force on other object, but we feel the pain. That means that wall also applies same amount of force on our hand. That wall also applies same amount of force on our hand. So that's why, so that is the reaction force. That is the reaction force. That reaction force per unit area is called pressure. That is called pressure. Remember that. So that is the pressure. So the gas molecules moves randomly in different directions with different speeds. Due to that random motion, these gas molecules collides with the walls of the container. Gas molecules collides with the walls of the container. Due to that collision, gas molecules apply certain amount of force on container. In the same way, container also applies the same amount of force on gas molecules. That reaction force applied by the container on the gas molecules per unit area is called pressure. Generally, pressure is considered as force per unit area. Generally, pressure is called force per unit area. So, the reaction force, how can you define pressure? Here. So, here the pressure is defined as the reaction force per unit area applied by the container on the gas molecules. The reaction force per unit area applied by the container on the gas molecules is called pressure. So therefore, pressure can be written as force per unit area. Pressure can be written as force per unit area. So this is its unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or we know Pascal, or atmosphere. Newton per meter square, or Pascal, or atmosphere. So this is the unit, and here 1 atmosphere is equals to 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. So relation, 1 atmosphere is equals to 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. So this is the pressure. But how can you calculate the pressure? How can you derive the expression for this pressure here? See here. So like this. So this is the cube, and that is the first phase A and the second phase A2. Just I am considering only one particle. Let us consider only one molecule. Let us consider only one molecule here. So one molecule that moves in possible directions. What are the possible directions? Let us say Vx is velocity along x axis. Maybe the one particle may move along x axis, maybe y axis, or maybe z axis. So next Vy is velocity along y axis, and Vz is velocity along z axis. Vx is the velocity along x axis, velocity along y axis, and velocity along z axis. See here, then net velocity, total velocity can be written as under root Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. If at a time the particle may move in 3 dimension, then total velocity of the particle can be written as under root Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. So this is the total velocity of the particle. How this equation will come? This is based on vectors. Later we can discuss about that. First of all, now let the particle moves only along x-axis. Again I am considering that particle moves only along x-axis. That particle moves only along x-axis. So that is x-axis from face A1 to A2 and to again A1. So starts from A1 to A2 and A2 to A1. Let us consider, I am considering that condition. So that means the particle moves from face A1, reaches to the face A2, after colliding with this again reaches to the face A1. So let us say the distance is L. L is the distance or side of the cube. L is the side of the cube. So let us, the particle moves only along x-axis from A1 to A2 and to A1, A1 to A2 and A1. So next here, what is the momentum of the particle? So that means here the particle moves only along x-axis, the velocity is Vx. Momentum along x-axis, Px is equals to mass into velocity. Momentum formula is, momentum is equals to mass into velocity. So next, after collision with wall A2, after collision with wall A2, the particle rebounds. The particle rebounds. Then with momentum mvx again. With what momentum the particle collides with the wall, then it rebounds with same momentum. So because the collision is elastic, elastic in the sense there is no loss of energy. So remember that. So rebounds with it. What is the change in momentum here? Change in momentum is equals to final minus initial. Final minus initial. Final momentum is mvx minus mvx. Why it is again minus 2mvx? Because this direction we are considering positive, and this direction after colliding with this wall, then the particle moves with momentum with same mvx. Then let us say I am considering this direction is positive and this direction is definitely negative. So that's why change means always we must write final minus initial. Change in the sense always we must write final minus initial. That's why mvx minus of minus mvx, that is 2mvx. 2mvx, that is the change in momentum. So time taken to travel that. Time formula is distance by speed. Time is equals to distance by speed. So the particle traveling from what position to what position? Traveling starting from A1 and reaches to A2 and again reaches to A1. Starting from A1 reaches to A2 and again A2 to A1. What is the total distance? It is 2L. 2L by Vx. So total time taken to reach the same position is total distance by total speed, that is 2L by Vx. Next, from Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum is equals to force. F is equals to ma, Newton's second law, Newton's laws of motion, we have that. Rate of change of momentum is force. Then Fx is equals to change in momentum. How much it is? 2mvx. What is the time taken here? 2L by Vx. 2 cancel. Then Fx is equals to mvx square by L. This is the force acting on the particle. Fx is equals to mvx square by L. So force acting along x-axis. So this is the concept here. Only what we are considering here, only one molecule. I am considering the only one molecule that moves along x-axis like this, only along x-axis. So momentum formula is mass into velocity. So like this. After collision with wall A2, the particle rebounds with same momentum. So the change in momentum means always we must write final minus initial. Mainly it is based on vectors concept. After completion of vectors, you can get clarity about that. So that is change in momentum. Two bodies are moving in opposite direction. Change in momentum is nothing but addition of those two. So that's why addition 2 mvx. Time. So according to Newton's second law, force is equals to rate of change of momentum dpx by dt. So like this. Fx is equals to mvx square by L. mvx square by L. So but we know pressure is equals to force per unit area. So then pressure along x axis is equals to Fx by A. So pressure along x axis is Fx mvx square by L divided by area. So pressure along x axis equals to mvx square by area into L. So but area can be written as mvx square by area is L square into L. So that's why from this pressure along x axis is equals to mvx square by L cube. So pressure along x axis is equals to mvx square by volume. So pressure along x axis is equals to mvx square by volume. L cube is nothing but volume. So that is the situation here. Pressure along x axis. So this is for only one molecule. Just here I am considering only one molecule. For only one molecule, the pressure is mvx square by V. The pressure is only mvx square by V. So for all particles, the pressure along x axis is equals to m by V into sigma Vx square. Sigma is nothing but sum of all the particles. Sigma in the sense sum of. So next, similarly, what we can write, pressure along y axis is equals to m by V into sigma Vy square, and pressure along z axis is equals to m by V is equals to sigma Vz square. Similarly, we prove that. We proved along x axis. What we write? M by V is equals to sigma Vx square. M by V equals to sigma Vy square, like m by V into sigma Vz square. So total pressure is equals to Px plus Py plus Pz. Total pressure is equals to Px plus Py plus Pz. So that means, but we know Px is equals to Py is equals to Pz. Pressure does not change with direction. Pressure does not change with direction. So pressure remains constant. Particular region, the pressure remains constant. So that is Px equals to Py equals to Pz. That means P plus P plus P is equals to m by V into sigma Vx square plus m by V into sigma Vy square plus m by V into sigma Vz square. So 3p is equals to m by V into sigma Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. So from this 3p is equals to m by V into, so this can be written as V square. So in the first case, what we conclude that V is equals to under root Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. So that's why this can be written as V square. The starting we assumed one condition. So that is V is equals to under root Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. We conclude this relation. So based on that, Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square can be written as m by V square. This V is the volume and this V is the velocity. Let us say, now from this 3p is equals to m by V into, so this is velocity RMS, let us say. So pressure can be written as 1 by 3 m by V Vrms square. This is for one molecule. One molecule may move x axis, y axis or z axis. For n molecules, what we can write? For n molecules, pressure can be written as 1 by 3 Nm by V into Vrms square. So clearly the pressure can be defined for one molecule here. How many numbers? P is equals to 1 by 3 Nm by V into Vrms square. So from this P is equals to 1 by 3 into Nm can be written as capital M by V into Vrms square. So this is the situation. So from this, so this is the pressure of an ideal gas. Here capital M is equals to capital N into small m, that is the total mass of all molecules. Total mass of all molecules. Capital M is equals to Nm into total mass of all molecules. So this is the relation. So here from this we can write PV is equals to 1 by 3 capital M Vrms square. PV is equals to. So PV is equals to multiply and divide with 2 for our convenience, mVrms square. So here 3 by 2 into PV is equals to half mVrms square. So 3 by 2 into PV, P is equals to half mass per unit volume into Vrms square. So from this 3 by 2 P is equals to kinetic energy per unit volume. So that means half mv square is considered as kinetic energy. Kinetic energy formula is half mv square. So 3 by 2 P is equals to Ke by V. Ke is equals to 3 by 2 PV. This is the relation between, or from this P can be written as 2 by 3 Ke, where Ke is nothing but kinetic energy per unit volume. So this is the relation between the pressure and kinetic energy. Relation between the pressure and kinetic energy, P is equals to 2 by 3 Ke. P is equals to 2 by 3 Ke. Also we can write it as Ke equals to 3 by 2 PV. So from this Ke is equals to 3 by 2 PV can be written as nRT, or for 1 mole it is PV is equals to 3 by 2 RT. So or we can write it as PKe is equals to 3 by 2 NKBT. NKBT. So 3 by 2 NKBT. So from this we can write kinetic energy is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to absolute temperature. So that means based on this what we can write, kinetic energy of the gas molecules depends only on absolute temperature. Kinetic energy of the gas molecules depends only on absolute temperature. It does not depends on any other factors. This kinetic energy of the gas molecules does not depends on any other factors. Depends only on absolute temperature. If the temperature is 0, the kinetic energy of the gas molecules is 0. If the temperature increases, kinetic energy of the gas molecules increases. If the temperature decreases, kinetic energy of the gas molecules also decreases. So this is kinetic energy. This is the pressure of an ideal gas and this is the kinetic energy. This.